Hey everyone, Say PK here and welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about July. For a lot of gardeners, especially those of us in the northern hemisphere, July can feel like a strange in-between time. The spring rush is over, the heat is cranking up, and you might be looking at your garden beds thinking, is that it? Am I done for the season? Well, I'm here to tell you that the answer is a resounding no. July isn't the end of the gardening season. In many ways, it's the beginning of a whole new one. It's honestly the perfect time to practice succession planting and set yourself up for an incredible late summer and fall harvest. The key is just knowing what to plant. Trying to sow cool weather crops like spinach or peas right now would just lead to frustration and bolted plants. But the good news is, there's a whole list of amazing crops that absolutely thrive when planted in the heat of midsummer. We're going to dive deep into 11 of them today, from fast-growing beans to sweet fall carrots. This isn't just a list, it's a complete guide. We'll cover exactly why each crop works for a July planting, how to give it the best possible start, and what you need to do to care for it as it grows into the cooler days of autumn. So, if you've got an empty patch in a raised bed, a container that just freed up, or you're just getting a late start on your garden this year, this video is for you. Don't let the summer sun fool you into thinking your opportunity has passed. By making smart choices now, you can extend your harvest season by weeks, even months, enjoying fresh produce from your own backyard well into the fall. We're going to turn that midsummer lull into a period of serious productivity. Grab a notepad, because you're going to want to remember these tips for a truly epic late-season garden. I'm incredibly excited to walk you through this. We'll break down everything you need to know step by step for each of the 11 crops. We'll discuss soil preparation, watering strategies to beat the heat, and how to time your planting just right to take full advantage of the remaining growing days. Think of this as your second wind for the gardening year. Let's get our hands dirty and unlock the amazing potential of a July planted garden. Let's dive right in. Alright, let's kick things off with an absolute superstar of the summer garden, the bush bean. If you're looking for near instant gratification, this is your crop. Unlike their pole bean cousins that require trellising and a longer growing season, bush beans are compact, incredibly productive, and they mature fast. We're talking about going from seed to harvest in as little as 50 to 60 days. Planting them in July means you're giving them exactly what they crave: warm soil and long sunny days. This combination really turbocharges their growth, ensuring you'll be snapping fresh, crisp beans off the plant before you know it. The beauty of bush beans is their straightforward nature. They don't ask for much, but they give back in abundance. Because they grow into a small, bushy form, typically only a foot or two tall, they are perfect for filling in gaps in your existing garden beds. Got a spot where your spring lettuce just finished up? Perfect. Pop in some bush beans. They are also fantastic candidates for container gardening if you're working with a patio or balcony. The key is that July planting window. The soil is already thoroughly warmed up, which is critical for quick and reliable germination of bean seeds, something that can be a struggle in the cooler, damp soil of early spring. When it comes to planting, you'll want to sow the seeds directly into the garden soil. There's no need to start these indoors. Plant the seeds about 1 inch deep and space them roughly 3 to 4 inches apart in the row. If you're planting multiple rows, give them about 18 to 24 inches of space so you have room to walk between them and harvest. One pro tip for July planting is to water the furrow or drill line before you place the seeds. This ensures the seed has immediate access to moisture without the risk of being washed away by heavy surface watering right after planting. Once they're in the ground, your primary job is consistent moisture. The top layer of soil can dry out incredibly fast in the July heat, and those germinating seeds and young seedlings need that water to get established. A nice 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch, like shredded leaves or straw, is your best friend here. It will help retain that precious soil moisture, keep the soil temperature a bit more regulated, and suppress any opportunistic weeds that try to compete with your new bean plants. This simple step honestly makes a world of difference in a midsummer planting. Let's talk about care as your bush beans start to grow. Beans are nitrogen fixers, so you generally don't need fertilizer. Watering is the most critical task. Use a soaker hose or drip irrigation to deliver water directly to the root zone. As the plants mature, you'll see small flowers start to form. This is your signal that beans are on the way. Harvesting is the fun part. Start checking your plants about 50 days after you sowed the seeds. You're looking for pods that are firm, crisp, and about the thickness of a pencil. The more you pick, the more the plant will produce. Carrots in July? A July planting is the secret to the sweetest, most flavorful carrots. Germination is the biggest challenge. Focus on creating a moist, cool seedbed with loose, stone-free soil. Sow seeds shallowly and cover with compost. Cover the area with a board to trap moisture. Remove the board at first sprouts. Never let the soil dry out, watering gently. Successfully navigate germination and you're on your way to a sweet fall harvest. Once your carrot seedlings are up and have developed their first set of true leaves, it's time for one of the most important and often heartbreaking tasks in carrot cultivation: thinning. It feels wrong to pull out perfectly good seedlings, but I promise you, it is absolutely essential. If you don't give each carrot root enough space to develop, you'll end up with a tangled mess of tiny, spindly roots instead of the beautiful, full-sized carrots you're dreaming of. Your goal is to thin the seedlings so that each remaining plant has about 2 to 3 inches of space on all sides. This gives them the room they need to bulk up. You can do this in a couple of stages. When the tops are about 2 inches tall, thin them to about 1 inch apart. Then come back in a couple of weeks when the tops are a bit more robust and do your final thinning to that 2 to 3 inch spacing. The little carrots you pull during the second thinning are often big enough to be used as a tender gourmet treat in salads. Be very careful when you're thinning not to disturb the roots of the carrots you're leaving behind. The best way to do this is to use a pair of small scissors and simply snip the tops of the unwanted seedlings at the soil line. As your carrots grow through late summer and into the fall, continue to provide consistent water. Deep, infrequent watering is best to encourage the roots to grow long and deep in search of moisture. A layer of mulch applied after your final thinning will, once again, be a huge help in retaining moisture and keeping weeds at bay. Weeds are serious competition for carrots, so it's crucial to stay on top of them. The feathery carrot tops will eventually grow thick enough to shade out most new weed growth, but in the early stages, you need to be diligent. The magic really happens as the weather cools. Carrots can tolerate a light frost, and as I mentioned, this cold exposure actually improves their flavor. You can begin harvesting your carrots whenever they reach a size you're happy with. You can gently brush away the soil at the shoulder of the carrot to check its diameter. To harvest, loosen the soil around the carrot with a garden fork, and then gently pull it up by the greens. The reward for your July planting and careful attention to detail will be a harvest of crisp, incredibly sweet carrots that will store well into the winter. Let's dig into our third crop for July planting, the incredible edible beet. A homegrown beet, pulled fresh, is a completely different vegetable. Planting beets in July gives them time to size up before cooler temperatures concentrate their sugars. You're essentially getting 2 crops in one, the root and the greens. Harvest the outer leaves for salads or smoothies. There are classic red varieties, Chioggia beets and golden beets. Beets need loose, well-draining soil. Amend your garden bed with compost. Let's plant beet seeds, which are actually clusters. Plant clusters as is or break them apart. Plant them about 1/2 inch deep, 2 to 3 inches apart. Consistent moisture is non-negotiable, especially in July. Cover the row with burlap to lock in moisture until sprouts appear. Thin seedlings to 4 to 6 inches apart. Eat the thinnings. Mulch conserves moisture, suppresses weeds, and regulates soil temperature. Mulching ensures a sweet, tender fall harvest. Many think it's impossible to grow lettuce in summer. Standard varieties bolt in the heat, becoming bitter. Plant breeders have developed heat-tolerant varieties. Look for Blackseed Simpson or Jericho. Slow bolt is also a fantastic option. Loose-leaf varieties are often your best bet. Steer clear of crisp head types. Variety selection is critical. Look for heat-tolerant or slow bolt descriptions. This choice determines whether you harvest greens or bitter stalks. Location is key. While heat-tolerant lettuces can handle more sun, afternoon shade is ideal to prevent bolting. Use shade cloth if natural shade isn't available. Consistent moisture is crucial. Water deeply in the morning. For loose leaf varieties, use the cut and come again method. Snip outer leaves regularly. Regular harvesting delays bolting and maximizes your lettuce patch's productivity. Our fifth crop to plant in July is Swiss chard, a personal favorite for its resilience. It thrives in summer heat, unlike spinach and lettuces. You can harvest from a single plant all season long. Swiss chard brings a stunning visual appeal to the garden. Bright Light's produce stems in a dazzling rainbow of colors. Beyond its beauty, Swiss chard is a nutritional powerhouse packed with vitamins and minerals. It's an incredibly healthy addition to any diet. The larger leaves are perfect for sautéing, and the stems can be cooked right along with the leaves. Planting Swiss chard in July is straightforward. Like beets, the seeds are clustered. Expect multiple seedlings from each spot. Sow seeds about ½ inch deep, 4 to 6 inches apart. These plants get large, so give them space. Keep soil consistently damp until seedlings emerge in 1 to 2 weeks. Thin seedlings to 10 to 12 inches apart for productive plants. Harvest outer leaves, leaving the center intact for continuous production. Begin harvesting in 50 to 60 days. Regular harvesting ensures a long season. Let's talk about cucumbers, a quintessential summer crop. July is the perfect time to plant them for a late summer harvest. These plants love heat and thrive in long, sunny days. Vining varieties are great for trellises, while bush types like Space Master are perfect for smaller spaces. Plant seeds directly in warm soil, about 1 inch deep. Amend your soil with compost and a balanced fertilizer for a strong start and abundant harvest. Once your seedlings are growing, focus on water and support. Cucumbers are thirsty. Aim for 1 to 2 inches of water per week, more in heat waves. Soaker hoses or drip irrigation are ideal to prevent fungal diseases. Provide a sturdy support like a trellis. Vertical growing improves air circulation and reduces disease risk. A month after planting, side dress with compost or liquid fertilizer. Harvesting is rewarding. Pick often. Harvest on the smaller side for peak flavor. Cut cucumbers from the vine, leaving a bit of stem. Regular harvesting ensures continuous production until frost. Zucchini is synonymous with overwhelming abundance. This summer squash is a powerhouse, and planting in July yields a massive harvest into fall. Zucchini plants love the heat and offer almost instant gratification, going from seed to harvest quickly. You'll have so much you'll be sharing it with neighbors. Most zucchini are bush types, needing adequate space. For limited spaces, compact varieties like Bush Baby or Astia are perfect for containers. Direct sow seeds where they'll grow using the hill method with enriched soil. Thin seedlings to prevent overcrowding and disease. Soil preparation is key. Enrich it with organic matter for a bountiful harvest. Consistent watering is vital for zucchini plants, especially since their large leaves lose moisture and the fruits are mostly water. Drip irrigation is ideal to prevent powdery mildew. Avoid shallow watering to encourage strong roots. Zucchini plants have male and female flowers, requiring pollination for fruit to form. Hand pollinate if needed. Mid-season feeding with compost or liquid fertilizer, rich in potassium, supports fruit development. Harvest regularly when zucchini are young, about 6 to 8 inches, for best flavor and to encourage more production. Cut the stem carefully and check under leaves, as zucchinis hide well. Radishes offer near-instant gratification. They are one of the fastest-growing vegetables from seed to harvest in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. There are many heat-tolerant varieties. The key to success is quick, stress-free growth. Any stress from heat or lack of water can cause poor quality. Direct sow seeds in a sunny spot. The soil should be loose and free of rocks. Consistent moisture is the single most important factor. Mulch can be incredibly helpful in retaining soil moisture. Once your radish seeds have germinated, thinning is critical. Radishes need space for their roots to swell. Overcrowding yields lush tops but tiny roots. Thin seedlings to 2 to 3 inches apart. Radish thinnings are edible in salads. Watch for flea beetles. Use a floating row cover as a barrier. Succession planting ensures a continuous supply. Harvest at about 1 inch in diameter, around 3 weeks. Enjoy the simple joy of harvesting fresh radishes. Let's talk about turnips, a classic root vegetable that deserves a spot in your July planting schedule. Planting in midsummer sets you up for a fantastic fall harvest of sweet, tender roots. Turnips are dual purpose. You get delicious roots and nutritious greens. Purple top white globe is a reliable choice. For a faster harvest, try Hakure turnips, a sweet and crisp Japanese variety. Work your soil deeply, remove rocks, and amend with compost for smooth, round roots. Once your garden bed is ready, it's time to sow turnip seeds. Make shallow furrows about ½ inch deep. Space furrows 12 to 18 inches apart. Sow seeds along the furrow, 1 to 2 inches apart. Cover with ½ inch of soil or compost. Water gently. Consistent moisture is critical. Thin seedlings to 4 to 6 inches apart. The thinnings are a tender addition to salads. Ensure consistent moisture. Mulch helps conserve moisture and suppress weeds. Watch for turnip shoulders pushing through the soil, a sign harvest is near. All right, let's talk about a true powerhouse of the summer garden. A green that scoffs at the heat when others are wilting away, collard greens. Now, if you've associated collards strictly with cool weather gardening, you're missing out on their incredible resilience. These members of the Brassica family, a cousin to cabbage and kale, have a remarkable ability to not just survive but thrive in the warmth of midsummer. Planting them in July sets you up for a fantastic continuous harvest that will carry you right through the fall, with the flavor actually improving after the first light frosts. It's a strategic planting that pays dividends for months to come. Think of collards as the sturdy backbone of your leafy green production. While more delicate greens might struggle with the long, hot days of July, collards dig their roots in and get to work, producing large, nutritious leaves. The key is understanding that their growth habit is perfectly suited for this time of year. The strong sun fuels the development of their robust foliage, and as long as they have consistent moisture, they won't bolt or become bitter nearly as quickly as other greens might. This makes them a reliable, low-stress option for gardeners who want to ensure they have fresh greens on the table even during the peak of summer heat. So, why July specifically? Planting collard green seeds or transplants now leverages the remaining weeks of intense summer sun to establish strong, vigorous plants. They'll put on a tremendous amount of leafy growth before the days begin to shorten. This initial growth period is crucial. By the time the cooler temperatures of autumn arrive, your plants will be mature and ready for heavy harvesting. The slight chill will then trigger a change in the plant, converting starches into sugars, which results in that classic sweet, rich flavor that collard green enthusiasts know and love. It's a perfect example of timing your planting to work with the natural cycles of the season. When selecting a variety for your July planting, you have some fantastic options. Look for classics like Georgia Southern or Vates Blue Curled, both of which are known for their exceptional heat tolerance and productivity. These varieties have been garden tested for generations and are proven performers in warm climates. They produce those big, beautiful, paddle-like leaves that are perfect for traditional cooking methods or for use as healthy wraps. By choosing a variety that is well adapted to summer conditions, you're setting yourself up for a successful and bountiful harvest that will keep your kitchen well stocked. To get your collards started in July, you can either direct sow seeds or use transplants. If you're direct sowing, plant the seeds about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. I like to plant them a little more densely than the final spacing, maybe every few inches, and then thin them out later. This gives me a bonus micro-harvest of tender young collard greens. Your final spacing should be about 18 to 24 inches apart. This might seem like a lot of space initially, but trust me, these plants get big and bushy, and they need that airflow to prevent fungal issues like powdery mildew, especially in humid weather. Consistent moisture is non-negotiable for collards, particularly when they're getting established in the July heat. The soil should never be allowed to dry out completely. A deep watering once or twice a week, depending on your rainfall and soil type, is much better than frequent shallow sprinklings. To help retain that crucial moisture and keep the soil temperature down, a thick layer of mulch is your best friend. Apply a 2 to 3 inch layer of shredded leaves, straw, or wood chips around the base of the plants. This will also suppress weeds, which compete for water and nutrients. Now let's talk about feeding these hungry plants. Collards are heavy feeders, and they need plenty of nitrogen to produce all that lush green foliage. Before you even plant, it's a great idea to amend your soil with a generous amount of well-rotted compost or a balanced, slow-release organic fertilizer. This will provide a solid foundation of nutrients. About a month after your plants are established, you can give them a supplemental feeding with a nitrogen-rich fertilizer like blood meal or a liquid feed like fish emulsion to keep that vigorous growth going strong throughout the late summer and into the fall. Pest management is also key. The primary culprits you'll face with collards are cabbage worms, those little green caterpillars that can chew holes in the leaves. The best organic defense is vigilant monitoring and the use of a floating row cover, especially when the plants are young. This physical barrier prevents the cabbage moth from laying its eggs on your leaves in the first place. If you do spot the worms, you can hand-pick them off or use a product containing Bacillus thuringiensis, or BT, which is an organic-approved bacterium that specifically targets caterpillars without harming beneficial insects. Finally, let's round out our list with one of the easiest, fastest, and most versatile crops you can possibly grow. Green onions, also known as scallions or bunching onions. If you're looking for a near-instant gratification crop to pop into the garden in July, this is it. Green onions are fantastic because they don't require a long growing season to form a large bulb like their full-sized onion cousins. Instead, We're growing them for their tender green stalks and slightly swollen white bases, which are packed with a mild, delicious onion flavor that enhances just about any dish you can imagine. The beauty of planting green onions in July is their sheer resilience and speed. They are not fussy plants. They can handle the summer heat as long as they have adequate water, and they grow so quickly that you can be harvesting them in just a few weeks. This makes them a perfect succession crop. As soon as you pull up a radish or a head of lettuce, you can pop some green onion seeds or sets right into that empty space. It's an excellent way to maximize the productivity of your garden beds and ensure you have a continuous supply of fresh flavor right at your fingertips all season long. One of the best things about green onions is their cut-and-come-again nature. You don't have to pull the entire plant up to enjoy a harvest. You can simply take a pair of scissors and snip off the green tops, leaving about an inch or two of the white base still in the soil. In most cases, the plant will regenerate and send up new green shoots for you to harvest again in a couple of weeks. This method allows a single planting to provide you with multiple harvests, making them an incredibly efficient use of garden space and effort. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And let's not forget how incredibly useful they are in the kitchen. From a simple garnish on top of a baked potato or a bowl of soup, to being a key ingredient in stir-fries, salads, salsas, and marinades, their culinary applications are endless. Having a fresh patch growing right outside your door means you'll never have to buy a wilted, rubber-banded bunch from the grocery store again. The flavor of a freshly cut green onion from your own garden is brighter, crisper, and more potent than anything you can buy. It's a simple luxury that makes a huge difference. Getting green onions started in July couldn't be simpler. You have two main options. You can plant from seed or from sets, which are small, immature onion bulbs. For the fastest results, sets are the way to go. But planting from seed is incredibly economical and easy. Simply make a shallow trench about 1/4 inch deep and sprinkle the seeds in fairly thickly. You don't need to be too precise with spacing. We're looking for a dense patch of slender onions, not large individual bulbs, so planting them close together is perfectly fine. Cover them lightly with soil and water them in gently. Whether you start from seed or sets, the care for green onions is minimal. Their primary need is consistent moisture, especially during the hot and dry spells of July. Their shallow root systems can dry out quickly, so keeping the soil evenly moist is important for tender, flavorful growth. A light layer of mulch, like fine wood chips or chopped straw, can help a lot with water retention and weed suppression. Because they are such a quick crop, they generally don't require much supplemental fertilizer, especially if you're planting them in a bed that was amended with compost for a previous crop. Harvesting is the fun and easy part. You can typically start harvesting your green onions when the green tops are about 6 to 8 inches tall and have the thickness of a pencil. As I mentioned before, you can either use the cut-and-come-again method by snipping the green tops, or you can gently pull the entire plant out of the ground if you want to use the white portion as well. I like to do a bit of both. I'll thin the patch by pulling some whole plants, which gives the remaining ones more room to grow, and I'll snip the tops off others for a continuous harvest. One final tip that feels like a magic trick. You can even regrow green onions from the scraps you buy at the grocery store. Just take the white root ends that you would normally discard, place them in a shallow glass of water on a sunny windowsill, and within days, they will start to sprout new green shoots. After a week or so, once they have a good root system growing, you can plant them out in your garden or in a pot. It's a fantastic way to get an endless supply of green onions for free and a great project to do with kids. And there you have it, 11 fantastic crops you can get in the ground this July for a spectacular late summer and fall harvest. From the heat-loving strength of collard greens to the quick and easy satisfaction of green onions, there's truly something for every gardener and every garden space. I hope this guide has demystified midsummer planting for you and shown you that the growing season is far from over. In fact, for many of these crops, the best is yet to come. The key is to embrace the heat, provide consistent care, and get those seeds and transplants in the soil. My challenge to you is to pick at least one, maybe 2 or 3 of these crops and give them a try this month. Don't be intimidated by the date on the calendar. Gardening is all about experimenting, learning, and enjoying the process. Whether you have a huge backyard plot, a few raised beds, or just a couple of containers on a sunny patio, you can absolutely have success with these plants. There is nothing more rewarding than walking out your door and harvesting fresh, delicious food that you grew yourself, especially at a time of year when some people think it's too late to plant. I would love to hear from all of you. What are you planning to plant this July? Do you have any other favorite heat-tolerant crops that you swear by? Or maybe you have a question about a specific plant we discussed today. Please drop down into the comments section below and share your thoughts, your plans, and your questions. The comment section is one of the best parts of this community, where we can all learn from each other's experiences and help each other become better gardeners. So don't be shy, let's get the conversation started. Thank you so much for joining me today and for your passion for growing your own food. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future gardening guides and tips. We have a lot more content coming your way to help you have your most productive and epic garden ever. Until next time, happy gardening!